Hello, we are back. And now we get to suffer through some more stupidity. Great. Anyway, allow me to bring up my guests.
我が力、我が刃、我が狂気、我が狂気をもて見解せよ。エクスはあうがせエクスプロージョン。
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yep. Also,
Hey, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Hello.
and one last person.
I don't want to be the straight man in all of this. But seriously, the internet with this movie. Ugh.
Yeah.
Man. Oh boy. And yes, we're at the crazy shipping part.
Yep.
Oh, you downloaded it. Well done.
Yeah, I already had it downloaded. I just didn't know how to share it. And then I figured out, oh, it's just share the entire screen.
Talking about Barbara's like transformation, all of a sudden she just goes through this.
Wait, we're gonna continue on this madness? Oh boy.
Was that it
Yeah.
seems to stem from, like when you were talking about Barbara's like
I think we're at like 53 even,
or
43
there are
even.
several that like that definitely
Every time they say Barbara, I think of Barbara Gordon, Batgirl. Like,
Yes.
That's very unfortunate.
Yeah.
like,
When I think of
obsessed
Barbara, I think of Spinal Tap.
Get you a man,
100%.
like get you a man that looks at you the way Steve Trevor looks at airplanes. He has more
Yes.
chemistry
No
with
kidding.
the jet than with
That
Diana.
is
Like,
very,
what the
very
heck?
true.
It's
All right, can you please pause?
You know what? They could,
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe people somebody I don't know died in World War I and popped up in the 80s. About 70 years of technological advance.
Mm-hmm.
Like they made a joke of him thinking a trash can is a piece of art.
The worst thing is, because they see themselves as Barbara, they really want to be together with Wonder Woman. And that's why they have this whole conversation.
Yeah, it's weird.
Which is really weird.
Look, Nihilus, I have to be the straight man. I'm in the worst position because I have to have to explain why the movie is actually better than what the internet thinks of it.
Yeah, I don't think that it's necessarily like bad. I think that like it suffers from the problems of the Richard Donner Superman movies. Like I don't like those movies at all. I think they're very poorly written, and have a lot of problems. I think that like even Superman 1 isn't that good, and like the second half is really really tismy and cartoonish as compared to the first half, which is more serious. It's a really drastic tonal shift when Lex Luthor is brought in.
Really? I've never seen the Superman one, so
Superman 1 featured Superman spinning around the Earth to turn back time to save
no, I
Lois
know,
Lane.
I know that, but I was just saying I've never seen the whole movie. I know that point. I just find it interesting that it's. I thought that was the one stupid moment in the movie, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's like they're weird. It's kind of just I don't really like that movie, but I like this. I liked watching this one quite a bit more than I like watching the Richard Donner Supermans. And kind of like I don't think it's like awful. I think there are definite flaws. I think it's like it's definitely kind of a flawed, like, okay time at the theater. I don't think it's like terribly broken, but like that's my perspective. What do you think? it's kind of tismy when you go into like wishing things. That's always going to be a slight issue.
Yeah, that's the moment you
There's
bring
kind of-
that into any story, it's kind of like, well, now we're just being kind of silly.
Yeah.
I believe.
Well, the
I
thing is that I was actually, so this is my perspective of when I was seeing Wonder Woman 84. I heard that people were complaining about inconsistency. So one of my friends had HBO and he streamed for us to watch. And I was purposely trying to find anything inconsistent that I saw. And once I found out it was about a wish, I was like, okay, how does the wishing work? Honestly, for a film all about using a wish MacGuffin, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah. 1 second, allow me to bring on our 5th guest.
So,
Hello there.
Hey,
hey.
Hello, Nick.
Sorry
Alright.
about that. I was getting my new car today.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Congrats.
Yeah, Jeep
Nice.
Compass. So pretty happy about
Nice.
that.
Hey.
Congrats on that.
Oh, well, what fun have I missed out on today?
Nothing so
much
nothing
far.
much.
Nothing so far. We're just getting into the weirdness.
Oh boy.
And you,
They're talking.
You
Oh,
know-
sorry.
Oh, go for it. We're talking about the wish thing, but I think we can kind of get into that later. But I guess like a main issue that a lot of people have is the wishing thing. I think it's relatively consistent. I think the main issue is comes in when it's not really stuff that you value. It's mainly just whatever Maxwell Lord wants, I guess. Maybe. I don't think it's.
Yeah.
What do you think, Holy Ninja? Like, what are like your
So
recalls?
clearly, with Cheetah and Wonder Woman, like Barbara and Wonder Woman, because they were the ones that had the pure form because it was just the Rock, and it's clearly worked on a version of the a law of equivalent exchange, but its version of a law of equivalent exchange is a lot more looser. The closest comparison I would say of it is from a manga series called JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. In the latest part 8, there's a MacGuffin. The whole thing that everyone's fighting over is a plant that it heals one part of your body, can heal an injury, but then cause another part of your body at random, no matter how doesn't have equal mass or anything, turns to stone.
Huh.
Like that's how
Okay.
it works. And then
Oh.
the MacGuffin is a further expansion of that, where it actually two people can eat the fruit, and one person can have their parts turned to stone while the other person can heal.
Yeah. Okay. I think that kind of like that part at least is semi-consistent. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I think Wonder Woman is a little bit like kind of a little bit too selfish, I guess. Like she's
Yes.
kind of I think since she's kind of supposed to be semi like at least a selfless person, like that's how she's been characterized, and the fact that she like is wanting to keep Steve around at the expense of her powers and the expense of the world kind of seems a little bit out of character for her. At least from what I saw in the first movie.
She just wants this one thing. This one thing, Steve.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is that I would argue, for one thing, the only film I put into context while viewing it was the first one. Because characterization can change from comics to film on that. And plus I was trying to give the film the best shot. I would say that this film could have been like
not even like the comics, just the first movie.
Yeah, because the comics version of Wonder Woman
There's a
is
lot
worse.
There's a lot of stuff with the comics and that.
Yeah, I have not, I've only ever read I've never read any Wonder Woman comics. I know of some Wonder Woman comics. I know about, and I've watched the entirety of Justice League and Justice League Unlimited.
I liked Diana's characterization in Justice League. Like, I thought it was pretty consistent. Like, it felt pretty consistent all the way through. They knew what they wanted to do with the character.
Yeah. So in terms of Wonder Woman's entire history, Justice League and probably the '70s show has been her best debut.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not much, as far as I know, in terms of like a basic mainstream comic book knowledge. Her best work is usually in tandem with Justice League and stuff, not her own stories. In fact, her most infamous solo act is her snapping Maxwell Lord's neck.
I looked that up on Wikipedia the other day, Maxwell Lord, because I remember the name, but I couldn't remember who it was. And then I saw that, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Wrong Justice League. The Frankenstein's monster of Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon, two very, very antithetical directors.
Yeah, I was about to ask, like, are we talking about the movie or the show? Am I missing
No, the
something?
show.
The show. Okay, I thought so. I was
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, because
actually, funny
there's-
enough, that Zack Snyder is decent on Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of think because, like, the first Wonder Woman, I think, is a little bit better than this movie.
I would
Because-
disagree. I would
Really?
disagree
Okay.
over one reason is I'm a history nerd, and the screwing up in the setting clashing with the story that Wonder Woman 1 was trying to tell, and the obvious historical inaccuracies.
Yeah, there's
Like,
a lot of historical
turn a movie from
inaccuracies.
like a 7 to a 5. I would probably give this one more of like a 6.
Okay.
Where it's
But-
solid, but it's not like spectacular in any way. That's like my
There's, like,
overall opinion.
Yeah, I don't hate this. Yeah, I don't feel like I hate this movie. Like I hate TLJ and Game of Thrones season 8, but I can't really bring myself to hate this. It's kind of too, like, and also, like, listening to this podcast a couple of times, I'm just like, you know what? This could have been worse. I'm okay with this.
That's how sad is it that that's become our metric for a lot of movies? It could have been worse. It could have been TLJ.
I mean,
Honestly,
there's a lot of dumb stuff in this though. Like, when did you learn to turn things invisible?
They kind of
They hand wave it. They
Yeah,
basically
yeah, a
wave
lot
it
of
that
hand
she,
waving.
practicing.
like, because of like 70 years, like, yeah, that is a flaw in like a lot of the film's flaws is that comes from
It
not
lacks
expanding.
payoffs. It
Yeah,
comes from
payoffs.
lack of like setup for the payoffs. Like, they have the payoffs but no setups. They also
Yeah.
like
The
The armor.
finale, that
The
finale.
armor. The
I
armor
think
would
the
be my
finale-
go-to for that.
I think the finale is relatively well paid
I'm-
off in
I'm talking about right after the climax. So after
terms
Maxwell
of,
Lord
like, they said,
reunites with his
really the
son.
lasso of truth. And
I'm talking about after Maxwell Lord basically renounced his wish and reunites with his son. Me and Johan and Nihilus talked about, is that the film, as I told him, like, it just immediately goes to Wonder Woman with a handsome guy talking in winter. So months has passed. So nothing explaining of what happened to Barbara, what happened to Maxwell Lord on that. So we don't know if Maxwell Lord got thrown in prison or got away.
Well, do they remember any of it too? I guess that's the next
Yeah,
question.
they clearly not
Because
handsome guy. Wonder Woman, yes.
Quick question: can you guys hear me or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, because I cannot see the bulk coming up and down. But the main problem I had with the first movie, why
Uh-oh, we lost.
Oh
John.
no.
Wow.
what I hate about the first about the first movie is indeed the history inaccuracy. How many stuff they did wrong with it. Also,
All right, look, you're gonna have Can you fill me in? What did they do wrong?
All right,
Because
they put a British tank in a German military base with a Russian experimental bomber, and fucking they made German people look like Nazis. All right,
and World War One.
Yes.
They
Yeah,
made
World
World
War
War One
One-
into World War Two. If they just simply had it set in World War Two, the movie would have been better.
Yeah, it would have
World
been
War
fine.
One is a lot more like gray. Like there is no really like right or wrong side in that war. Everyone was sort of
Who
at
developed?
fault.
Who did develop mustard gas first? And I'm asking for clarity on that.
Mustard gas was developed before the time period of the story.
Okay, like I was saying, I have studied history. It's just been years since I've studied World War One.
Yeah.
That thing with the tank is something I would have never picked up on, like me personally, because I don't study that kind of
They
stuff.
even use training British planes in a German fucking military
Okay.
base.
Okay, your average moviegoer is never going to pick
Yeah,
up on that.
my biggest thing is more about the Germans are Nazis. Like the Germans are treated as Nazis as opposed to a more morally gray situation, which the film was trying to lean towards, and World War One was the perfect setup. But no, they just went straight for we had like this German who's a stereotypical evil German general.
But we did get that wonderful line of Ludendorff, enough. I love that stupid line so much.
Also, the problem what I also did not like about it is like the whole Palpatine God fight.
Oh yeah,
it was fucking stupid.
Look at my icon. My icon is Ares from DC Rebirth, Wonder Woman Year Zero.
That looks way better.
Yeah, this is what Ares is supposed to look like. Instead of a British guy, the final battle is a British guy in normal clothes firing lightning at her, and then put on armor, but he's not being black underneath. He still had his face on it.
Yeah,
Also,
I just can't take that seriously because that guy is Remus Lupin. That's kind of the main thing.
I never knew that. I never knew that.
Yeah, like I just cannot take Remus Lupin seriously as the Greek god of war, to be perfectly honest.
They didn't even shave the mustache. He looks like he just came straight out of Harry Potter. Like even in the Greek flashback when he was like Ares, he still has the mustache. Like I don't think mustaches were a thing back in like ancient Greece.
Sometimes it's even worse. The mustache actually fades in with the background, and then you have like he's like finally having the edge on Wonder Woman, and then Wonder Woman seeing that person die.
I think we should keep going.
Boom, Super Saiyan.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's keep going with the stupid podcast, and let's at least get to the one out.
But I see Barbara as one of my own.
Obsessed. Like if he's gonna come back, have him be obsessed with all like the new technology to where he doesn't even give a shit about Diana anymore.
Is he gonna marry the jet like that person married the Eiffel Tower?
That could be kind of funny. I think there are several that definitely could have been something, Victoria. There are so many ways that they could have pulled something compelling, something engaging, something unique out of this film, and everything just falls flat. One of the things that I found the weirdest about this whole
the unique thing is
was
Pedro Pascal.
Like when you were talking about Barbara's like transformation, all of a sudden she just goes through this.
They said unique thing. I'm like, yeah, the unique thing is Pedro Pascal, Max Lord. Like that's your more interesting aspect of the movie. Everything else is like, yeah.
Like there's a bunch of bog standard arcs. It's.
Just trust me, you don't want their ideas in this movie.
Yeah,
their ideas. No. If Wise Wolf is here, I would say that their ideas would make a worse fanfic than Roman Fox.
Oh, God. I think it's more worse than how do you say this one?
Empress Teresa. Teresa.
Yes.
That was a ride. That one was a ride. I watched the Crimson review of that. That one was a complete and total madhouse.
Oh no!
It's such a
no! Smutcast is on. Okay.
Oh no.
Okay. Let's just do this for about an hour. We'll do this for 40 more minutes, and then we'll go.
Yep. No worries.
Yeah, and then we'll kind of maybe resume next Tuesday, since I really want to. At least like this will be short. Like a lot of people will be able to see this and be a little bit more digestible than a lot of other things.
All right.
All right.
Yep.
Alrighty.
No worries.
Very geeky character. Apparently, the thing that turns her life completely around is learning how to walk in heels.
Yeah.
Oh my
My life
goodness.
was pretty hard after I realized how to walk. But
We shall not underestimate it.
You have a but
Yeah.
that's
But-
that's not a.
To be fair, my life became very different when I realised I didn't have to try to walk in heels anymore. So there's a big heel thing
That's
going
totally fair too. That's totally fair too. But it's like there's this weird. There seems to be some weird foot fetish stuff going on in this film.
Oh my god!
on. You think? But no, you are.
I think it's you guys who have the fetish.
Yeah.
Stems first and foremost from the fact that
yes, the
The
BDSM.
The film did not have a foot fetish. Okay, so for one thing, like, what they're trying to point out is that, like, Barbara's whole thing was that she wished to be like Diana in term, like, what she thought was to be in her, confidence, and because in how Diana, like, holds her, like, acts around the world, like being very the confident woman and independent, and not like what she is, which is the stereotypical nervous girl with like the frumpy clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And what she didn't know is that she got the superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why did I
and if you want
predict that?
Yeah. And if you want to know what, like an example of, because obviously this film does not have a foot fetish. Tarantino has a foot fetish. You just go to that film to know that
There are no bare
one of his
feet.
films.
There are no bare feet.
Yeah. It's exactly.
There was a lot of that in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I enjoyed that movie, but it was so obvious that Tarantino had a thing.
I mean, even Brad Pitt in his award was like, I like to thank Margot Robbie's feet, Leonardo DiCaprio's feet is just, it was pretty funny. It's one of these known things, like Tarantino has a foot fetish, and it's like, just go to one of those films, you know he has one. You watch this one, like, yeah, like you said, Dunn, there is no bare feet. You see heels. That's about it. I think there's only one shot of heels when she tries to avoid the water.
It's more like they have a foot fetish and they're just projecting it onto the film.
It's just like there are no bare feet shots. It's just
What that mean?
leopard print heels. That's it.
That,
Tarantino, if you look at any of his movies, Tarantino has a foot fetish. Like, if you look at from like with Till Dusk Till Dawn, he has Salma Hayek put her toe in his mouth.
Oh my god.
Yep.
But the good news is that means that we're now on 9 subjects that they have a weird fetish on. Huh.
Yeah.
Again, another what?
We need to continue.
First it was BDSM, then it was, a lesbian relationship, so yeah, we're getting there. But wait, it gets fucking better.
It gets better.
Yeah. So but yeah, it's kind of weird that like So for a second I thought that so Becca for a second thought that like Richard that David Thewlis or Remus Lupin or Ares was playing a Nazi in the movie. I'm like, no, he doesn't play a Nazi. Actually, he actually just plays this like quiet unassuming British guy for the first bit, and then he turns out to be Ares, and it's really distracting.
Yeah.
Can I just give my quick interpretation of that for a moment? Like why he looked like a British guy. I think what really happened was that he was not Ares.
British guy.
Unassuming British guy is one. Writing wise, the twist wouldn't work if you had this, like British general yelling like, "We need to go to war!" like yelling and everything. Yeah. 2, I don't think that was actually like Ares' physical form. I think he just took the body of Remus Lupin.
So that would actually work better, but Grease
That
with,
would
with a mustache. Just
Yeah,
walking around.
that would look a lot. That would look a lot better. I think it would be a lot better if it was just like that was an illusion, and that
That's
like
what
and like, but the problem is like when his helmet comes off, you see that it is Remus Lupin under the helmet.
Yeah, that's why that's why I'm saying I'm thinking that's what they were going for, but I can't be certain. I don't know, but it may be true.
I
don't
really
think they
hated
thought that far
how
ahead.
his face fitted in the helmet. It didn't look like that black, black face with the red eyes, that kind of thing, the obscured face. That would have been way
Yeah,
better
you
than
see his.
the
Yeah, you see his.
Brit face in his face with a mustache on, and then that helmet. Ugh.
All right,
Also,
what's
that's
Oh my god!
You think?
Oh my
But no,
god!
you are.
But like
You
that's the thing that like the envy stems first and foremost from the fact that she really likes Diana's shoes and she can't walk in heels. So
But
man,
that
if only, guys.
That is ultimately it's maybe not the lens that a lot of people, particularly straight people, would think of, but having a relationship that grows out of a spark of, do I want you or do I want to be like you? Do I want to be you and have something that you have? That is something that I mean, I don't know about anybody else. Maybe I'm taking this way too personally, but that is something that I've had to examine more than once in my life. And that is an interesting way for a relationship to grow. And after you've outlined that idea for a relationship between the two of them, Victoria, I have now got this image in my head of a scene between Diana and a much older Barbara in Barbara is basically,
I told you.
being
I forgot this part. I intentionally blocked this out. So just for some, I have listened to actually a lot of this podcast with Johan and Nihilus, just for preparation, and I had to be like the guide because they couldn't get access. Yeah. So, oh my goodness, and also, I think we're over the part where they just have because Diana and Barbara go out for lunch, automatically queer coding.
The worst thing is they actually, because Barbara wears these heels and is quirky with them. That's why they have this heel fetish.
Also, there's also going to be a little bit later where they kind of reveal that they are as morally bankrupt as High Top Films.
Oh yes.
Oh boy.
Oh yes. Oh yes. I know.
How exciting!
I remember.
What did High Top Film argue?
Oh, he argued that it was wrong for the framing of the movie to the movie to frame Barbara beating up the dude who was trying to ape her to a bloody pulp.
Yes.
As immoral.
What?
Because they like BDSM. I told you before.
Yeah, he hated the fact that it was framed as a bad thing. That was part of her villain arc because she's supposed to be a victim, not a villain.
No, that she's supposed to be a villain. That was the entire point. She was the only character who made the wish on the stone to not renounce her wish.
Yeah. One interesting thing about it is these people. So for those of you who have not seen the movie, basically she first throws the dude into a car, the side of a car, when he initially. So it's okay, cool. And when he's down, she knocks him down, and then she realizes she's really strong. So she kicks him like a soccer ball 5 feet away from her.
Yeah.
Repeatedly.
And then in that same scene, there was a homeless guy. So this was basically a repeat of a scene earlier where she gave food to a homeless guy, a black homeless guy. And then this white drunk homeless guy was her.
Well, actually, businessman. He's actually he actually is wearing a suit.
Oh, I thought he was homeless.
No, he's not homeless. He's wearing a relatively nice suit.
He could be the fancy homeless people with the suit. Maybe they have like a caste system going on.
He's like what is it? Lawrence Fishburne, hobo assassin dude.
He's the hobo king.
So, like, to be fair, that is actually a thing where there's guys who's homeless who wear
kill for money. Yeah, kill for money. Yeah, or have like nice stuff or.
Yeah, but anyway, but the whole point is that this dude came over, like the scene where she beats the crap out of the drunk. The person she was kind to saws her and basically is shocked of what happened to her, what she has become.
Yeah, they have a problem with how that's portrayed as well.
That's not bad. That's
Just
actually
wait.
a consequence.
Yeah, I know that they was like, no, me. Why did they have to betray her?
But
yeah, this is
gonna get more.
Yeah, this is gonna be. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep going with this.
Barbara in either BVS or Justice League, where Barbara is basically being Rachel in Highlander, where she's been with around Diana her whole life, and it's saying
she's only 55 at this point. Oh, I suppose Rachel kind of was about that as well.
Yeah, but the point being that gives somebody to say, don't go off and get involved with these strange men in cloaks. They will only make your life worse.
Side note, my God, does Diana need a supporting cast? She needs a Jimmy Olsen. She needs a Lois Lane. She needs a Perry White. She needs an Alfred. Who's Diana got?
A Barbara.
It's like Wonder Woman throughout all of her comic history has been very inconsistently written, so much so that her sidekick, Donna Troy's, her whole shtick is that she literally, her backstory gets literally changed every 5 seconds.
I don't have Steve Trevor though. Like, isn't he considered the sidekick or whatever?
Yeah.
Well, he's dead.
That's the thing, and also, that some versions he's dead, and essentially what Wonder Woman is basically Asaya is just a Justice League member, and then the people who write her stories does stuff, but nobody really cares.
Yeah,
and that's sad.
Yeah, there seems like there's some characters that don't need their own backstory, like Hawkeye, like in the Avengers. Like, I don't think you need a whole thing on Hawkeye. He's just good in the Avengers movies. You don't really need a whole solo.
You don't need a film.
Yeah, you don't need a trilogy with not like Captain America or Iron Man.
Then why did you make a movie for Wonder Woman if she doesn't
Because Wonder Woman is part of the Trinity, like the 3 most important characters in the DC universe: Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And then
the main problem is that she's poorly written. Okay, good.
Well, it's more of like she doesn't have like it's more like she's best well known to be part of the Justice League. Like, she doesn't have like well-known storylines in her own book. Like, she doesn't have her equivalent of
The Killing Joke or
What Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, or like
the Death of Superman. Yeah.
Definitive storylines.
Great question. Superpowers also sometimes change?
Yeah, and her origins and what the Amazons are. Like, basically with Wonder Woman, they kind of change it. It's only recently they kind of decided, okay, she's like the daughter of Zeus, and we're just going to focus a lot more on the Greek mythology stuff, where it has been part of her element for the past decades, but it's not.
But okay.
But it's not a major element. Though in the comics, it is the gods are actually alive, not dead.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, and I don't know I don't know about the comics. I don't remember, but are there many gods in the comics as well, like the Mayan gods?
Yeah, there are.
Okay.
Yeah, like Hercules is still around. Hercules is one of Diana's antagonists in the comics, if I remember correctly.
Because I always find that weird. Like, you choose like, oh yeah, there's Greek gods, but there's also Norse gods, and it's like, okay, so does their beliefs of the afterlife, does that align with like Tartarus and all that? Is that the same? Do the gods know each other? I I never know. That's why I was curious because the movie.
Superhero
The
universe
movie
is
certainly
confusing.
Yeah, the
Oh,
movie certainly
interestingly
don't
enough,
elaborate.
interestingly enough, they have a complaint about that out the afterlife thing in this movie.
Oh
boy.
yes,
Let's keep going. Let's get going to that part. Like I want to get to that part, and I want to get to when they discuss Barbara's breakdown, since those parts are hilariously awful.
Then gets to hang around with after this would have come in really useful.
Yeah, I mean, even if Barbara at the end like had to stay like a cat person, and that's why she couldn't be with Diana all the time, would have made more sense. I mean, it's also interesting the cryptozoologist has become the cryptid, but
nice.
Yeah, notice that they don't do anything with that in the actual film.
No, not even a little bit. But the idea, but the idea of like,
But
there's
Cheetah is like one of Wonder Woman's like main arch enemies.
But
Yep.
Yeah.
Why did they want her?
So they made major changes to characters in the like Cheetah's her whole shtick is she wants to kill Wonder Woman to cure herself of being a cheetah person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like an Amazon curse, right?
Yeah,
But
she's
it's
not
a goddess curse, like
Yeah.
a
Really?
cult.
Oh, okay.
Like Medusa. All right.
Yeah, and she's not a cheetah at the end of the movie though. It's like does she renounce her wish then, or did she keep her wish? I don't know.
I think it's because of Maxwell Lord's renouncing
Oh,
wish.
she renounced his wish. Okay.
Yeah, that's what happened. Maxwell Lord renounces his wish of becoming the Wish Stone, and the reason why Barbara looked like Cheetah was because she wished upon him.
Yes, I forgot that. I didn't realize though because when I didn't. So
You only get one. So do you get two wishes if you wish on the Dream Stone, or and then Maxwell Lord, or how does that
I think
work?
it's like an like I assumed based on the rules that was explained in when Maxwell says, "Oh, you can do multiple wishes," is that you would still get negative benefits. You would still have yeah. Well, it's not just you got the monkey's paw effect, but also you got the taking away of something.
Yeah, I thought like one of whoever when he was doing this whole TV thing and the wind was all going wishy. One of the wishes he grants, he just like uses the monkey paw. The consequence that you become apex predator or whatever he did when he pointed at Cheetah, and then
Yeah,
she
he
became
gave
Cheetah.
her ferocity, gave her like he said, give her your ferocity. But like, and apparently that makes her a cat person.
I guess it makes her a cat person, but then like, why would just because Max Lord renounces his wish, why would the consequence go away as well? Because everyone had to renounce their wish for it to work, and it doesn't look like she did. She didn't want to, but did the lightning when she got electrocuted in the water?
I don't remember seeing her back to normal. The last time we saw her was she's unconscious.
No, she was she was looking at the sunset or whatever at the end. All wet and damaged because she got beaten up by Wonder Woman and electrocuted.
Wait, she gets damaged? Is Wonder Woman actually taking damage or being?
Yes, she actually got shot.
Finally,
she got shot in Cairo because, like, her consequence for the Wish Stone was that she got Steve Trevor back, but she lost her powers. She's losing her powers because, and this is also tied to this thing that Wonder Woman 84 did okay at, which is using the plot to explore the themes that the film was, in that it goes against Wonder Woman's, as the person of truth out of the Holy Trinity, by exploiting her weakness of like her love for Trevor, and that she is willing to ignore truth to be with the one she loves. And it costs her to do like the infamous sleeping with him on another guy's body, and also losing her powers is a major consequence. And thus, but even though she knows she has to do it, and so at the end, she is forced because the world is literally going to end. Like a nuclear war was about to happen.
Yeah, that was dumb. Why would the president would not ask for more nukes? That was.
I
dumb.
actually assumed, because based on how the scene was framed, that Maxwell Lord had some was like influencing him.
Yeah, that wasn't. I didn't see that in anywhere else in the movie. He has to try and trick the people to saying that, but that was like, that's your wish. Like, no. And then just because also her power, her losing powers is very selective. Like, oh, you lost your powers here, but now you got your powers here to save the kids or whatever. It's like, okay.
What?
No, it was more like she was steadily losing powers. Like, yeah, she lost her having the powers to save the kids was when you just learned that, oh, she actually could get damaged. Like, that was the twist of that scene, that, oh, she is losing her powers. And then because when we got to the White House, when they were fighting in the White House, she was horribly beat up and like limping afterwards. Like, of course, no blood because it's rated PG-13. We can't have that.
Come on, really? Not even bloody nose?
She did get bloody when she got shot, but not when she got beat up a lot.
I don't know. Casino Royale is PG-13. You can probably
that's
do
true
it.
too. And there's some blood. There's some blood in Bond movies.
Of course,
Yeah,
I know.
PG-13. James Bond gets his balls beaten. Literally.
Oh yeah.
That part's like I think that part is like just probably like the most efficient method of torture that a Bond villain has ever done. Like, screw this stupid like elaborate torture devices. Just use a weighted ball of rope and hit his balls. Like, that's way more effective.
Exactly.
I love it though how he didn't break. You'd think if anything, that would cause Bond to snap.
All right.
I loved it when he's like, a little more to the left. I really have an itch down there. A little more to the left. Yes. Yes. And it's like, now the whole world will know you scratched my balls.
Strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great line.
I think. Yeah, it's just like we'll have to do a James Bond discussion of the Craig films, since I like those. I like Skyfall, Casino Royale, and I kind of like Spectre, but I can see that there are bad things about it.
Yeah, same.
I completely agree.
I always found Skyfall's theme song really catchy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it is. It's a very good theme song.
Skyfall
I unfortunately haven't seen a lot of James Bond movies. So.
The first James Bond movie I actually ever watched was Die Another Day.
Ooh, that's a weird one.
Well, it was the only film that my family had on DVD. I don't know why my family got it. I don't know why.
When I was a kid, my
Die
father.
Another Day is the one with Toby Stevens,
Halle
right?
Berry. Halle Berry,
Toby Stevens.
Yeah.
It had the huge elaborate sword fight.
Yeah. And a really, really weird plot that included surfing on a tidal wave with a balloon, with a parachute or something.
Okay, to be fair, that is not the dumbest thing in that movie. That's probably the most sane.
Yeah, like the ice, like the supercars race. That part's pretty dumb.
No, what about the fact you had an entire resort made out of ice that probably took years of development to make?
And you just destroy it.
When I was a kid, though, we had all of them, like on VHS. We had up to The World Is Not Enough. And it was interesting because they was part of the VHS collection. So I grew up with a large majority of the movies. And I got to tell you, Moonraker is still pretty weird.
Moonraker.
Let's move on from James Bond.
We need a stream on this.
Yeah, James Bond can be its own stream, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's so much James Bond, it's ridiculous. But anyway, let's keep going.
Might not be together at the end, but having it.
The major problem is that this is so boring, or at least hasn't gotten to the fun stuff yet.
Maybe it's just me. Extremely relatable, but also understanding that my love for this person doesn't diminish my love that I had for this other person or have. depending on your, level of monogamy or polyamory. But it's just.
I have no idea what that word means, but I think it means
polyamory, multiple spouses.
Let's rewind. Please, let's listen to that again.
Or polyamory, but it's just like, why do we need to keep this heteronormative monogamous bullshit in here when there was it was right
Cut
there?
Black again.
So
that's
just
a sentence.
because this is the tranny, right?
Yes.
So just because she's a degenerate, we all have to be degenerates.
Yes, according to her, yes.
And according to them, like if a man and a woman have lunch, they're just friends. If two women go out to have lunch, it's queer coding.
But the worst thing is she sees herself into Barbara, and that's why she wants, Barbara and Wonder Woman to be together. That's the problem. And we're getting there.
Why do you want to see yourself in Barbara though? That's not good.
But we have Barbara, Mama.
Yeah.
You have poor self-esteem.
Also, the weirdest thing is the tranny's actually in a relationship with a woman. She's not in a relationship with a dude, which is kind of okay.
Okay.
So you're kind of you're essentially a lesbian trapped in a man's body before your before your transition. Is that how it works?
You have a man's soul trapped in a woman's body, and this is gonna get confusing, and we still haven't gone to the Wonder Woman sleeping with another man. That scene.
We already patched that. Actually, we actually passed.
They're gonna mention it again. They're gonna mention. They're gonna mention. They're gonna use the agency argument.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Let's keep going. Yeah, but it's just the heteronormative. Do you want to abolish the concept of marriage or something? What do you want?
No, they want the human race to go extinct.
No. They want to spread the gospel of Slanesh.
I don't think they know what they want, to be honest.
Let's go with that.
Press the button.
Yeah.
Press the button and you will find out what they want.
Yeah, let's just. Well, we do know that they are very, very close friends with Movie Bob, so that should everything.
No.
So perhaps they want to go to Mars.
Unironically, he shouts out Movie Bob every other episode of this podcast.
How do you simp for Movie Bob and live with yourself?
They've had Movie Bob on their show multiple times.
Oh please! Oh, if you're gonna find one of those podcasts, I do want to join in. That would be funny.
Quick question: How big are the landfills already? I'm hoping that I'm having the right harpoon for these guys.
Yeah. This it's kind of interesting that these people. It's kind of like the holy trinity of bad because they shout out Maggie May Fish as well in this episode.
Oh wow!
How do you sleep at night?
Please let there be a podcast with all three in the same room. That would be glorious.
Yeah.
Are you insane?
No.
I don't know if glorious would be the right word for that.
No, glorious as in for laughter.
Yes. Well, at least the weirdest thing is Movie Bob isn't as crazy when he's not doing his videos, but he's kind of pretty bad. Are you discovering why you picked this? I don't know why. But yeah, they are terrible. But yeah, I just found them. I listened to them a while back, and I oh, okay, they're okay. They got some interesting takes on Star Wars. Oh, they hate Last Airbender. Okay, the Last Airbender movie. We are on similar footing. Okay, cool. But you like TLJ.
The Last Jedi happens. Everything changed when the Last Jedi attacks.
Yeah.
the main problem with Last Airbender was it was just not like the original story by a long shot. It didn't feel like it, at least.
The real question is, what's not wrong with the Last Airbender movie? Because there's
yeah. I haven't seen it, but yeah, it's.
It is. Unironically, I think that it is worse on every technical level than TLJ, but I hate TLJ more.
Oh yeah, you do like 5 guys doing a martial arts move to fling a rock of something that I could throw with my 2 hands.
The only thing worse than the Last Airbender movie is probably the Batwoman TV show.
Or I was going to say The Legend of Korra.
Or Legend of Korra.
Kirk Cameron's
I would actually put Legend of I would put Legend of Korra above The Last Airbender because I wish Legend of Korra fails on its own 2 legs, and it had some good ideas, ideas, not execution.
The execution is poorly made. Yes, indeed.
There's also, I think like, what was I saying? At least like, well, Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas is the worst piece of media I've ever seen in my life, though.
I forgot about that one.
I saw that you streamed that. Oh boy, that was horrible.
That was a ride. That was a ride.
I have not seen it, or I have not seen the scene.
They ruined my old man in red robes. They ruined him. They turned him into a barbarian.
There's a moment like I think we were laughing uproariously, especially at the Santa moment. Like where he tells the story of Saint Nicholas. That was hilarious.
What makes it hilarious?
Because it looks like Santa is a barbarian. Saint Nicholas was a barbarian with a shepherd's cane who beat the living crap out of a dude and has the face of Brad Jones playing a serial killer.
Santa the Barbarian.
Yeah.
I prefer
the Santa Barbarian.
Unironically, like Eddie just like says, "Ho ho ho! Come on, let's go bless some children." And it's like, I do not want you near small children nor animals.
So, actually, what's so funny about Saint Nick is that he did actually assault.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he actually assaulted somebody in history at the Council of Nicaea.
They even, they used the line, and it was said that Saint Nicholas smote him on the cheek, which in this movie translates to he slammed his head against the table, dragged him outside, and started beating
the street to burn.
And then dragged him out in the street and started hitting him with the cane before stabbing him with the cane.
Yeah, their version of Santa Claus makes Ricky Cadwell from Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 Santa Claus look sane. That's saying something. I don't know if you've ever seen.
He did. Yeah, he did look like a chap from a horror film. We were actually like, hey, Santa, what is wrong with you?
Anything else other than this podcast?
Yeah, we should keep going. Let's at least get to like an hour, and then we'll just stop.
I think it is a self-defense mechanism.
Again, makes me really go back to, it really feels like Zack Snyder's fingers are really all over this film. That's another one of his weird tropes, is that everything has to be so very strictly heteronormative. Everything.
Like most movies in Hollywood.
He was producing it, but I don't see very many of Snyder's fingerprints on this movie, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, Zack Snyder produced the first one. I don't know how much of a role he had in this one, though. It seems like he was dumbed down.
Yeah, because this is very, very antithetical to a lot of Snyder's, oeuvre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this movie is literally classic Superman movies from the 70s/80s.
Yeah.
So what these people say, they don't like heterosexual movies. Well, I think that's a problem.
Yeah, they were dumb on they were dumb saying that that's a Snyder thing.
Yeah.
It's just a humanity thing.
Yeah, it's more of it's a marketing thing. Like, if you want to make your story appeal to the most people, even according to the Chinese, if you want to market to the Chinese,
You need to make it male. No,
Yeah, male and female.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of seems like I think like they overestimate like the LGBTQ crowd. Like the LGBT crowd is kind of niche, to be perfectly honest.
It's not even 1% of the world. Like I've seen statistics on this. It's not even a full percent of the world.
And if like events is a big factor, most of them are like are in California.
Yeah, I have so many. I disagree with. I very much disagree. Jon Snow is heteronormative. Yeah, I was just like, so he's kind of one of the few heteronormative characters in A Song of Ice and Fire, aside from maybe Tyrion.
What? He's a simp.
That's a weird thing to complain about.
Yeah, he just finds really.
Okay. Now I like the movie
Christian
even more.
Yeah.
Wow.
Give it an extra point.
Yeah, Christian Wiig. She was also in Ghostbusters 2016.
Yeah, they bring that up. They actually
my score still stands.
Yeah, guess what? They like that movie. They like Ghostbusters 2016.
Of course
they did. Because why? Because their taste is trash.
That movie
they
was
even
horror.
they even say that in this podcast that they still like it.
Why would you say that?
Because they are idiots.
There's not many defenders for that movie. There's a reason.
It's cringy. I haven't even seen it, but the bits that I have seen are just like, ow, this is painfully unfunny. This is Transformers humor, like all over the place.
Oh, it's terrible. It's the jokes go on for way too long. If you would call them jokes, like jokes with quotation marks, and they go on for too long. The best part of the movie is Charles Dance for like the 5 seconds he's in it.
Yeah,
I'm not a Ghostbusters fan, and I feel sorry for Ghostbuster fans.
I'm not even a ghost. Like I watched the first movie like a few months ago for Halloween month, and I was like, "This is awesome! I love this." And then I actually saw bits of the Ghostbusters 2016 thing for EFAP, and I was just like, "This is just not funny. What? How are you able to not even make one funny joke?"
Yeah, and it's just there's just so much wrong with that movie, and it's. Like, there's a reason why the new Ghostbusters movie trailer like explicitly made clear like that third one, that Ghostbusters 2016 doesn't exist. Nope.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. It's just like why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why? And it's just like it seems like the director, what is it, Paul Feig, just cannot write humor. But yeah, we're talking about other things other than this podcast. We need to beat this.
Yeah, we need to go. We need to charge forward to battle
and enter into any of those kind of thoughts.
Yeah, and it strips away a lot of the.
Okay, for reference, it doesn't enter into like a lot of non-heteronormative stuff, and it's weird that it didn't. I don't get what their perspective is, but we'll keep going.
The hint at sexuality that was in Diana in the first film, because it basically reshapes her way of looking at sexual affection and attraction and connection with people to it's okay to have sex as long as it's just with the one it's who you love very, very much and will stick with for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it's a very
and that's a bad thing. Why don't we have to kind of live in a society where like being faithful is a good thing?
Yeah, it's frowned upon when you cheat on someone. That's a very frowned upon thing to do. Like, you don't do it.
I guess like maybe it's after your friend your person dies. Like if the person you love dies, you can move on. But it's just like
there's that grieving period. But
guys, you don't get it. Barbara and Wonder Woman have far more better connections than this stupid man That's exactly their reason.
Yes,
Yeah.
Barbara. The only chemistry I have is Barbara wanting to punch Wonder Woman after she finds out that Wonder Woman wants to get rid of the whole witching thing.
Good point. Good point there.
Yep.
That is a very good point.
The red flags are everywhere.
Yeah.
I think I've said this before, but it seems like they really do not want Wonder Woman to have any agency. Like they think that they should be able to control her life. Like
oh yeah. Okay, so in this podcast, they complain about that Steve Trevor, couldn't have agency to not be in another man's body because Wonder Woman has the agency because it's her wish. But then they complained that Wonder Woman did not have agency.
Oh yes, let's get to that part. Hopefully, we get to like their skewed morality in self-defense, but we'll keep going.
Fell in love with X many years ago. That's the person that you are just in love with for the rest of your life. We all know it doesn't fucking work that way. Like even you guys that have been together forever, Alex, Aaron, I'm sure you fell in love with people before you met each other.
Maybe not really. No. We are the examples.
You know what? Fuck you guys.
Oh, all right. So basically, you're encouraging the main cultural thing where, oh yeah, you like the hypocrite, the double standard of you're supposed to be with one person the rest of your life on that, but you could do all the married stuff before that point.
Yeah. I think that's fine to move on. I think that's fine that you can move on. And it's fine not to move on. It's just that these people don't like that for whatever reason.
They don't want that. They want you to stick
They're
with
like,
one person a lot.
Yeah. My mom and dad are happily married and are okay and like really fell in love with each other. Like they dated other people, they really fell in love with each other. And that's why they got married, and they're still happily married to this day. So, and I know there are divorced couples, but it's not unheard of to just fall in love with one person and stay with that person the rest of your life.
Yeah.
No, my parents are the same way. I think the issue personally is that, and I'm kind of a bit of a romantic in a way, in this sort of way, given my worldview, is that the word love has just kind of become so diluted that it's no longer a very significant bond. It's now people now just interpret it as a word for affection. If you get what I mean, it's no longer meaning what it used to mean, which was you're willing to commit your life, your soul, your livelihood to somebody else. Now it's kind of just an all catch-all meaning for affection.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's so fun to read the comments in the chat and see all these new people that just joined and are like, "What? What?
Yeah.
No. What?" That was exactly my reaction at the first time also.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, fighting expert.
Congratulations, man.
Nice.
Yes, Neph, you are correct. That's the best word for it. It would be lust.
Yeah, that's basically our culture in a nutshell. It's unfortunately our we worship lust, the feeling of lust, more than love.
Yeah. School of Movies is death. Yeah, which would you say is worse, Movie Bob or School of Movies?
Movie Bob is hilarious. School of Movies is like torture. It's Chinese water torture.
Is it Chinese water torture? It's like Shiny forcing him to watch anime, that kind of torture.
We should show Shiny JoJo.
Oh no, you should not let him watch Bobo. That's even worse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everyone's different. Yeah. Like, I love, there's nothing romantic about two people breeding like animals. Yeah, it's weird that we're discussing this in a Wonder Woman 1984 podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
well, they're the one bringing it up.
Yeah, but also
Hence
it's
so
so
weird.
interesting is that like even like the whole controversial scene like yesterday on the chat I brought up about like, oh, what's your philosophy between body and soul? And I think like the little redhead girl next door, that's her username, kind of brought up like, doesn't that equate cuties not bad or something like that? But it because the idea about the criticism behind that is like, oh, now this is interesting because it could lead into a discussion about what's your personal ethical view of, because body and soul is important, because if your view is that we don't have a soul, we're just animals, then yeah, adjacency is very important. If we have like a dualist view, which is a classical view that the ancient Greece kind of started, is that, oh, it's people, you care more about the soul than the body, because the body is just at the worst extreme just evil. Like the body is just a thing that we're stuck with, but we want to get out of. If you also have a view about the body and soul are one, like you can't have one without the other, that is also brings out interesting ethical view. I mean, it also brings a good ethical argument against that scene, why that scene is bad on that. But it leads into interesting discussions.
But the worst thing is, these people don't think like that. Sorry to say that, but they only think about that they want to have this weird fetish with Barbara.
Yeah,
they
that's
think
the thing.
That one thinks with their dick, one thinks with their pussy, and one thinks what's left of their dick.
Oh, you mean the misformed Venus?
Oh, I was thinking just the eunuch people. Both metaphorical and literal. Let's keep going.
I get it.
Yeah. Oh no, the eunuch people.
Yeah, the unique
fall in love with everybody. Just have human relationships. Trust me, it'll help if you want to interact with humans.
Yeah, she can go on a brunch date with a bunch of Barbaras. Why not?
Basically, like her being like that level of no, I will only love this one man I knew for 3 days. It's kind of like saying none of the rest of you humans can measure up. It's like, whoa, why are you trying to help them then?
Because
it's like, well, I'm not going to, it's almost like a Vulcan looking at a human and going, like you're more.
Oh my gosh!
Love at first sight is a thing. It's a trope for a reason. Like, yeah, it's not most people, right? Most people don't fall in love within 3 days.
It makes good Christmas stories. Trust me.
All Mom did during Christmas was watch the Hallmark movies, and that's what all of them were, just love at first sight in the first 3 days.
Yeah, and also let's bring up their favorite franchise apparently, the MCU, and like the first Thor movie is literally that. It's Thor falling in love over a weekend.
Captain America and Peggy Carter.
Well, in that one, in that case,
okay, that was the 40s. Things were different back then.
Well, also, the film implied that time took place a lot longer.
There was also some time differences in Wonder Woman as well, because I think Steve mentioned when they were on the boat, or whatever, how long they were on the boat, because they got picked up by someone or something like that. Because they got towed in.
Well, you're not wrong, Neph. Technically,
the Chad love at first sight, yeah.
For a long time, so yeah.
Yeah, and also it's like, yeah, she was so heavily affected. Like the film kind of implies that, and probably not as well. Is that she loved Trevor so much that she's operating in the world, but she's not
participating engaging in it, per se.
Yeah, she's her occupation that she chose was to be an archaeologist of her people.
Mm-hmm.
Also, she fell in love with him, and it is shown in the first movie that she went Super Saiyan because of his death. Of course, that has impact in the second movie. Duh, that's why she wants him back alive.
I think it would have been. I think it might have actually been better if they had done it early.
Like a
set the movie earlier. Set the movie earlier than 1984.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that was the original intent, was to be in an earlier time period. There's that other photo of Wonder Woman with like severed heads for some reason in a different war in an earlier time period. That was in the original Zack Snyder cut of Batman v Superman or something. But Patty Jenkins wanted it to be in World War One, so they reshot the photo.
Okay.
Interesting. Well, it seems like there's a good collaboration at least.
Yeah, they're talking to each other. At least that's a good thing.
Yeah. Can't be said for the Star Wars sequel trilogy.
Yeah, where it's almost like they hate each other's movies and actively
they
hate
clearly
each other.
do.
I think they just hate each other as people too. They clearly don't like each other.
Like, my opinions on the sequel is that, like, most of the fault of the sequel I lay on J.J. Abrams' feet, because J.J. Abrams, like, is, like, the sole cause of, like, why people view Rey as a Mary Sue. Like, yes, Rian Johnson did not help her, but he actually wrote Rey the best out of both of them.
Yeah, whatever J.J. Abrams touches, like a franchise, like Star Trek, Star Wars, they seem to just like go down the toilet. Unless you're Mission Impossible. Franchise.
Like his Mission Impossible is like fourth best. I think it's a little bit better. It's a little bit better than the first one. It doesn't measure up to any of the others. It doesn't measure up to, and it's better than 2 because 2 is Drac.
2 is awful. 2 is awful. The best thing about 2 is the Dougray Scott, the guy who plays What You Breeding Me in the Batwoman episode.
He just can't get a break. He's never been in anything good that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I think he was in one good thing. I can't remember what it was. I can look it up real quick. But yeah, that poor man, good actor, just can't get it. He needs a better
He needs a better agent.
Agent, yeah.
He needs to fire his agent and get a new one.
Mm-hmm.
The worst thing is,
did J.J. Abrams do Tron Legacy? Oh,
yeah.
Huh.
Really?
Or I don't know if he directed it, but I think he's a part of it or something.
Yeah. All right, so let's continue with the podcast.
Yeah, let's keep going.
I was almost forgetting about that.
Yeah, I think we wanted to forget about the podcast. It's just there's more bad stuff in this section than in the other 43 minutes previous.
That's the power of this podcast. Unlike like Movie Bob has each Maggie Me Fish, they each have their own different powers. This is the School of Movies power.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've confronted all of them. Thankfully, there's only like 17 Maggie May Fish videos left, and she apparently did this. She's just barely put out a Lord of the Rings and queer fantasy video.
No. Oh no!
What?
It can't be any worse than that cinematic Venom. It can't be any worse.
Well, this is Maggie May Fish. I hate Maggie May Fish and cinematic Venom equally, but she's worse than he is.
Yeah, that's true. I shouldn't have said anything. I probably jinxed it.
Let's focus on this one instead, so that we don't have to think about all the things that maybe Maggie May Fish can pull off out of our head.
Mm-hmm. Like RoboCop is a trans icon.
Oh my goodness! That is stupid.
It's
unironically something that she says.
Of course, she said it.
And she's the one who dealt it.
A dog to me. I live for a long time. I can't really get involved in your here and there, but I'll pet you. I'll tell you you're a good boy.
I just appreciate that at the end, Steve Trevor, she's like, I'll never love anyone. He's like, God, I hope that's not true.
Did he actually say that?
Yeah,
Thank you.
He's like,
for
there
saying
are
what we were all
loads
thinking.
of men
Like,
in the world. Go
fucking
out
hell.
and find one of them.
Like, my God, does she turn into an
because Steve,
like, why?
because Steve loves Wonder Woman.
Because Steve
loves
is
Diana.
from World War II.
World War One, you mean? But and also, Steve cares about Wonder Woman's well-being, and is like basically telling her, "Stop holding on to me." Like, there's plenty of men out there. You
Let me
can
go.
enjoy life.
I need to die.
I need to die so that you can save the world. The world is literally going to end it. It's either us together and we're both going to die because of nuclear holocaust, or I die and you save the world.
I will choose the second one, definitely.
Yeah, let's keep going.
An incel at the end, like why?
Well, that's what she was doing for the 67 years. She was posting on Proto Reddit.
Yeah, no kidding. She got black pilled in like that period.
Yeah. Also, like there are loads of women. Sorry, there are loads of men in the world. Go out and find one of them. Does that imply that this version of Diana is the only hetero Amazon who ever existed that we know of? Because
Wonder Woman only recently was confirmed to be bi. Was made to be bi.
Wait, is she made to be bi?
Yeah, it was a stupid DC decision to say, "Oh, she's bi now."
Fuck off.
Well, it's kind of like I kind of see their kind of logic. There's kind of that coding of like, oh, it's identity politics crap, but there's only women on Themyscira, so
yeah.
What are you supposed to do?
So there are some versions where it depends of how the Amazons are operating. It seems like the ones
like
in these movies is like traditional, where it's completely isolated, and on that, like, yeah, it's implied that yeah, there is lesbian sex on that island.
I mean, unless they're going with like Greek mythology, where the Amazons took women took men as slaves. Yeah, they took men as slaves.
That's the new 52 version of the Amazons, where they lure. What happens is that they lure guys to go to their island. They go and sleep with the guys, and then they kill them and push them overboard.
Jesus.
Yeah, the new 52 versions were like. New 52 was edgy. Was when DC wanted to become darker.
No fucking wonder comics are dying.
Yeah, but the thing is that the New 52 led into Rebirth, where it was a brief. And this is why DC nowadays is actually a better comic company than Marvel, because DC at least have some sane people. A lot of emphasis on some.
Yeah. Well, the Greeks didn't really like women, as like factually, like Aristotle is very, very famously sexist. Like I'm okay to say that, like just as a libertarian, I am okay to say that. I mean, I'm okay with saying that he is.
You can look up a quote of Aristotle and you'll be like, "Yep."
Yeah.
Not like a woman.
Pick up descriptions of some women in the Iliad is this woman with a fine girdle. Of a fine girdle.
By the way, Holy Ninja, I want to do Wreck Your Dreams right now.
Oh no.
Guess what the couple did. Guess what the couple did while watching this movie.
Which couple?
The couple in the podcast.
Did they bang?
No, they let their 13-year-old daughter watch it as well.
Yeah, like the movie is mostly not that. It's not that violent, and yes, the whole like sleeping with the body of another dude thing, like that case of necrophilia, you may say, was mostly implied. It's just like the problem.
Let's call it what it actually is. Let's call it what it actually. It's demi necrophilia.
Yes, necrophilia. Yes, but also it's like that scene.
For those of you who don't know what demisexual means, it just means like somebody that you're romantically attracted to. So it's basically having sex with a dead person you're attracted to.
Look, who here hasn't gotten a Ouija board and possessed somebody just so you could fuck? I can't be the only one.
Like it's fun. Like here's the thing. Like it's funny. It's definitely funny to think of it that way, and of course it could. It does. You have a right to not like the movie because of that. But like in my assessment as like a quality of the movie, it's not
It doesn't affect
like
it. Yeah,
it
it's
doesn't
not like a
affect my
run.
rating
It's a
on it
it
because
just
it's
shows
Hollywood's movie lodge. It's like you know how
it just shows
Hollywood.
like it just kind of shows that the makers of the movie are oblivious.
Yeah, and also they just decided is like, oh, we need to show them that they are in love. Let's have them get out of bed together. Like it's because that's what Hollywood thinks
Of
a lot
love.
of the times. Ugh.
But the good news
Mhm.
is, the child was bored to death, so
Well, yeah, because the movie is definitely again from like the 70s and 70s Superman movies, which they could be
You know what?
very boring.
You know what? I now need to use Demi Necrophilia and Dragon Blaster. I think it would be funny for like somebody to bring that up.
Yes, Demi Necrophilia.
Yeah, just have
It's
a
like-
character just say that offhand.
Yeah, it's just maybe it's like they're playing Scrabble or something, and they're just like, and somebody spells like Demi Necrophilia, and it's just like, okay, what does that mean? And like just some bimbo says it, and it's just like, you don't want to know.
Yeah. You go into a tavern, like someone's stumbling out of the tavern, and he's like, "I just experienced this," and some guy's like, "What does that mean?" You don't want to know. Keep moving.
I just experienced. I was a victim of Demi Necrophilia.
Yeah, they just have like the
Demi-
innocent characters.
Demi-
Like, what's that?
So a demisexual is somebody who like only has sex with people they fall in love with. Like it can be male, female, they, them, trans, whatever.
Whatever this thing is in the podcast.
Your exhaust pipe in your car.
Yeah. Let's keep going. We're at 50 minutes. We've only done 7 minutes of this podcast.
Existed that we know of, because who the fuck else are you going to be with if you're living on Themyscira?
Which, again, she has already implied in the first film that the Themysciran women sleep together.
Yeah. She also talked quite a bit about wanking.
It feels a little bit like Diana should have been like pansexual or
Also,
something.
Themyscira is also based on ancient Greece, and they have, and ancient Greece is known for a certain virtue, which includes self-control.
The original pansexual. Pansexual.
The original pansexual, yes. I know, but it's the other word that I described it down. Pansexual.
Yeah, I'm
They want
like,
her to be-
yeah, pansexual is just like, it seems like it's just bi to include trans people, I guess. That's what pansexual seems to be.
It's selling frying pans, of course. Duh.
Oh
dear.
dear.
Frying pans? Is that what you're doing, that Johan?
Oh wow, well, I imagine it worked better for women than men. Well, with that handle thing.
Oh my god!
I was imagining, those big giant wok pans that you can just rub around. So
Occupation Army is like summarize this whole segment we're listening to right now. According to them, sexuality is very important for plot.
Wait, question. Is a frying pan bigger than a raccoon? Because I believe I read somewhere that the human anus can at least fit one full raccoon. We just need to know if the frying pan is as big.
I guess you learn something new every day.
As if straight girls who went to boarding school. Oh, ouch. Wow, yeah, good point.
Did the Straight Girls written by Gona Guy? Gona Guy.
Yeah, let's keep going, shall we? We're an hour and 23 minutes in. We should keep going.
With Pan at one point. So
Like
I'm
that.
the original pansexual.
Yeah, but that would have been really fucking cool if like we have the first superhero that is like outwardly, like out pansexual and proud. Like, how fucking cool would that be?
Horrible.
Especially
no, who cares?
No one cares.
Yeah, I really don't care either.
No one cares. In fact, people will get annoyed, and then you'll also lose some people because they don't want to have like a person's sexuality being thrown on their face.
Well, I think they do, but
that's because these people are nuts.
Of course. But I'm talking about like my people who don't like the SJW stuff, or like
you misunderstood me. I meant they want Gal Gadot to do like a front flip onto their face.
Yeah,
that's the way I'm interpreting that.
There's one problem with that fantasy. Gal Gadot's already married.
Well, apparently to these guys that doesn't matter.
Well,
they want to break a relationship.
And I'm pretty sure they don't want to do that because she's also is an Israeli actress, was from Israel, and she was part of the military at one point. So
I feel like these people are in.
Oh, thank you.
Oh
no!
Oh my God!
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh.
How about no?
Valerian, why?
You do it with Crypto the Super Dog.
Yes, I agree with Becca.
That's some worried advice right there.
Well, at least it's better than having sex with a pan.
Probably.
Different sorts. Get your pants here. Get your pants here. What do you sell? I sell pants. Oh my God! Give me 20.
This is a shop in Amazon and Themyscira or whatever for the Amazon people, just pans.
I see.
Yeah, there's a variety of pans.
Yes,
and
and I see it also like
So
this
Wonder Woman after her lesson at the beginning of '84 goes to she and her mom goes down the street. Mommy, why is that woman selling pans? Nothing, honey.
Is it though?
Nothing.
They're like, God, is it though? Is it? I don't know. Never had either.
I would say, it would be absolutely an awesome monkey business, selling, making sure you rent out pans to pansexuals, and then you ask them the pans back, and then, you hire some children to wash your pans.
That golden armor that Wonder Woman wears is made of pans. They had to take all the pans and to make that armor.
The most stupid armor ever.
I really hated the wings.
The wings are used as shields, but she doesn't use her arms to use any form of combat, like using swords or a spear. No, she just used the wings to basically make herself into a bubble. Come on, quit whacking at me.
The worst thing is those.
Apparently, this is a good point. Flynn Rider, Samwise Gamgee are pansexual. They love pans.
As a weapon. We know that Sam got.
Oh, come on.
Sam and Flynn got married.
Oh, come on. Flynn shoved that pan as far up his ass as it could go.
No, I'm pretty
Sam
sure
was too busy with Frodo's dick in his ass.
Sorry. No, but Sam's straight. No. He had a wife and kids.
Allow me to help you with even more uncontrollable laughter. Isn't that fantastic?
Puns. Okay, let's go. Let's continue.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Those wings remind me of curtains, those iron curtains that you could pull out.
Are a polyamorous heavy bondage,
yes,
trouble. You've already laid the foundation for it. Like, if this I'm about to make a really bad cat pun, but if this movie had any claws at all, if it had any teeth, if it had any claws, it would have gone all in on that kind of stuff. But again, doesn't want to engage with gender, doesn't want to engage with politics, none of that stuff.
Yes, and you guys will do it with Max Lord.
Oh, they want to perfect it.
Yeah. I'm honestly, and that's a bad, did the original Wonder Woman really engage with gender and sexuality, really?
No.
Only, the only thing was only to build up the world of the Amazons, and only in that scene with the boat where Diana explains to Steve that, yeah, our view of men, other than for sexual reproduction or for pleasure, we kind of view men as like, no, like this is what the books I read.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I
is there
actually-
no like pepper spots?
To be fair to the original movie, I do kind of like that scene. I kind of like that her only exposure to men has been in books and in writings from the ancient Greeks, and this is the conclusion they've come to.
Yeah,
it's not a bad scene.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's like again, a lot of problems with the first Wonder Woman movie comes with its setting and how it's used. Not so much on like Wonder Woman's journey and like in the relationship between her and Steve.
But it gets better.
So they're just like, these people are just strange. Like they're just saying like this movie doesn't want to engage with gender like The Last Jedi or Captain
The Last
Marvel.
Jedi didn't engage in gender.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what movie were you fucking watching?
This is my question to these people. What movies are they watching? Are they watching the porn versions?
Well, for people to believe The Last Jedi is good, they have to invent their own backstories and scenes for the movie, so that way.
They literally did that. They literally did that.
You remember the scene where the movie was good? I don't.
Yeah, you remember that scene where it showed that like Luke was doggedly following the creeds of the Jedi and like saying like clamp down on all your anger and your fear and your hate to Kylo Ren. You remember that scene where we saw Kylo Ren's training? You remember that? Wasn't that so good?
Oh,
and
you mean
they talked about
you mean him, Kylo Ren getting smacked around?
Yeah, like
that is so frustrating.
That they invented in their podcast. Like they just like invented that wholesale to make it sound like it was better than it was.
I feel like
you remember that, Nick Brown?
Oh, I remember that. They invented a lot of stuff in that movie. It's insane.
Yeah.
I'm just why would they do that?
I feel like these people are sniffing out that white stuff right before they can watch a movie, and then after that they having like this threesome with a dog with it.
Did you just call the trans person a dog?
Yes.
No. Isn't there like a trans species a thing now, or was?
The deer man got shot because he classified himself as a deer.
But like, there was a guy who's like involved a couple where the guy dresses up as a literal dog and be put on a leash.
Why do I keep coming here?
Just to suffer.
Well, the school movie family does own a dog. So.
Oh God!
Oh no!
What? I just said they own a dog. Lots of families own a dog.
But lots of families aren't this degenerate either.
Yeah, like they're making us question about their personal things because they're exposing private things, their own fetishes on our ears, our ears.
That's why my brain is now.
This is one of
brain damage.
This is one of my favorite podcasts ever. This has been amazing.
I miss the Rancor of progressivism.
Yes.
Yes, do it. Save the doggos. They must be saved.
No, save the doggos. I don't know because. Yeah, let's keep going.
Let's try.
One more thing. If you go to their house for dinner, ask if they.
You have to eat out of a dog bowl.
No. Make sure they wash their pants because otherwise.
Johan, what's with you and pants?
I don't know. I had a kind of a pansexual experience right there.
Oh, no.
You're a bomb! You're literally a bomb with arms and legs! How is that possible?
Hey, Don't blame me. Everything can happen. It's 2020.
Well, that actually makes more
2021.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Sharon,
No.
you must observe the truth at all times. The truth is, if it's in the script, we do put it in the film.
Yes,
Yep,
that's how
hit this
films
button
are made.
Before we move on.
Yeah, indeed.
My
Right,
time
so
won't be extended.
Oh, boy.
just to
Sharon, the truth is beautiful. There's nothing more beautiful than the truth. The truth means
You
doing.
can't handle the truth.
Fucking Reagan bullshit is that?
just a slight sidestep. That does bring up
Beat you
something
to
that
it.
I was going to mention earlier. The whole thing about what following the rules and the truth being really, really important.
No, rules help control the fun.
That seems very, very incongruous with one suggested theme, which the fact that they keep coming back to the idea of the monkey paw. The point of the monkey paw is that it's like you can't violate natural laws. It's not like here's a set of rules that the monkey paw wrote with its own fair fingers, and if you violate any of these, you're going to prison. It's a thing, there are natural consequences to making these certain decisions. So that seems to be the direction that they wanted to go in terms of the truth that she tries to hit Lord with at the end is to do with the natural consequences of what he's doing. It's not that he's broken any particular rule of men or something like that. So
walking into the White House the way he did kind of did break the rules.
Well, yeah, there's that, and he built a wall like natural. The monkey's paw, like you said, like natural effects and all that. Like nothing's really changed, but then doesn't like create anything. That's why when you see Trevor on the other body, like, oh, there's the monkey's paw, except it was actually took away her power.
Did steal that Iron Sheik's so yeah, that scene is cool. Is like very interesting because it showed that this is how Max Lord is gonna make deals and stuff. But
yeah, he has to touch the people, and then he doesn't need to touch them at the end. And then, but it's
because
like also
of
it creates a wall.
Star Wars satellite.
Yeah, and then and also it creates that wall. It's like, oh, so you can't just your magic can't create stuff now. Okay, so why can't you just create a body for Steve Trevor? Why couldn't you just? Why did you have to place him in someone else's body?
Well, technically it is natural because it's a natural one, not like it didn't look like a formation like
a wall just came out, sprung out from the ground, like a wall. Yeah, a wall just sprung out of the ground.
They have a giant problem with that, which is hilarious. They have a giant problem. They say like it is so wrong-headed that they put a wall in this movie separating yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah, even though the walls actually work, because the whole point, his wish was to have his old ancestral lands and to keep out foreigners. Which, by the way, they complain that this is so racist, by the way. It's so stereotypical, even though
that is a thing. I'm really sorry, Fighting Expert. I'm really sorry, Fighting Expert. I can't find a long comment. I just found like short ones. I'm really sorry. Like I don't see it anywhere. It might not have come through. Like sometimes the comments are tismy. It's really frustrating. I'm really sorry, man. Like the last comment I have from you is the I need to go on a crusade one. That's 81/puppy play, and that's it. I'm really sorry, man. Yeah.
Yeah, or sometimes maybe it could be like a live chat or top chat thing.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, sometimes YouTube is weird because like there's like sometimes I can't see everyone's like chats or whatever. For whatever reason, it's weird. It's like, oh, I didn't see that one. I don't know why. I assume it's censorship or something.
You know what makes me always problematic is like the delay sometimes is really long.
Yeah.
Okay. It looks like YouTube is.
If you, How about if you can just send me that in like a DM, I will I'll read it out. I promise. How about that? I won't have any problems there.
But holy shit, these people have problems.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Mental health.
Yeah, like the wall part, like you can say that the walls appearing does break the way the wishes work. Slightly, but again, like it's
a big wish.
Yeah.
That would be a significant nudge if you played Half-Life Alex.
But did he lose a lot?
The guy was definitely punished for it. Like he couldn't get out of his house.
Well, then that's a
and
that's good. And that's a good wish. You know, that's a good wish
Yeah,
because he gets
let's
to punish.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Discussion about her not wanting to give him up and this being the thing she's wanted all this time, and now she's got it and she's unwilling to let go of it. The ethics around Steve hijacking somebody else's body aside, she strips him of all of his agency at that point.
Yeah.
Steve, it is in Steve, we've seen this in the first one, to sacrifice himself.
You're still talking about ethics.
When they talk about her renouncing her wish, because obviously that is something that she has to do, he can't do that for her, or rather he can't take that choice back for himself. But when they're talking about it, all of his language is tailored around it's the right thing for you, Diana, to let go of this and you know, move on and let me go, and you have to do this because it's for the good of all mankind. Nowhere in that conversation does he ever say, and I think this would have been a really important addition to it, I don't want to be here. You have brought me back when I already gave myself up for the world once, and now you are preventing me from doing what I can see is the right thing again. And that was totally just avoided entirely.
I think that was the implication by his dialogue. Because Wonder Woman already knew what she needs to do.
Yeah, she knows it. She just doesn't do it.
Listen, this movie, it's about ethics and demi-necrophilia.
But yeah, it's a funny way to say that, but it is a deep. The thing is that it gives her like this movie as the last one. Oh no. Okay, but like Wonder Woman 84 actually gives Diana a more challenging character arc than the first one, because the first one is like, oh, she's naive, she doesn't know, she's naive in her mission to assassinate a guy, essentially. Our hero, everyone, assassination, and this one is showing the ugly side of her flaw, and I'm actually happy that it didn't pull its punch on that.
So I got the fighting experts thing. To make the whole pansexual thing worse, a raccoon can fit into a hole 4 inches wide. The human anus can stretch to 8 inches wide, so never be butt naked while next to an angry raccoon.
Or a pan, apparently.
You know this talk
this
about
podcast has brought up so many wrong things.
No, I was expecting today. I'll say that. I was not expecting this today.
Good news.
I was expecting us to like be arguing with everyone here, trying to defend Wonder Woman as a solid movie, and then this is just turning into talking about these guys' fetishes.
Yeah. I love how this is like how. Oh, and then White Dragon enters like right
now. I feel bad for anyone who's just like entering like what wait.
And we got 15 people listening to this.
Well,
we got 15 people, which is great.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah, that number hasn't really gone down ever since we were talking about that the pans
about that fantastic
and the
experience.
We didn't have Noah on a more podcast then, or
yeah. Let's keep going, shall we?
Yes, please.
What I can see is the right thing again, and that was totally just avoided entirely.
Yeah, she takes away his choice in any of this and his agency, like you said, and I do agree that would have been a pretty important point to make. Like, if you're going to frame it in this way, I think it's important for Steve to actually have some kind of a say in what happens with his soul or his essence or whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely. Otherwise, he is basically a mail order dildo.
Whoa!
I mean,
with ethics.
They even had take a moment for Steve to vaguely remember heaven, and like in this movie of Amazons and gods and magic, you needed to throw that little bit of like, but Christianity's the real one, right, guys? That's what we're saying here.
Stop there for a moment.
Say it was
serious.
Christianity.
Please.
You didn't say it was Christianity. You just said it was. I don't know what it was, but it was a good place.
Okay, regardless. DC Comics, along with Marvel Comics, it was created by essentially Jews. Like, it was created by Jews with a grasp of the Abrahamic religions. There are two in DC Comics. There are three God characters: the voice, the hand, and the presence, I believe. And in Marvel, you have the one above all. It makes sense that Steve would see even if they don't say it, to imply the Christian heaven, it makes sense because DC and Marvel were founded on the Abrahamic religion. That is what a large majority of the characters believe in. So all I'm saying is to bitch about it is to go against the original fundamental values that DC Comics had. And I'm sorry, I just had to go tismy with that. It just pisses me off when people don't know the history of the topic they're covering.
Yeah, they don't know the history
or
of
respect it, I should say. Respect it.
And also, here's another thing. So, Ghost Rider. When I was doing some research about a character I have called Devil Knight, right? And I looked up some of Ghost Riders. Apparently, there was a storyline idea that was building up where the twist was that Ghost Rider was helping out this homeless dude or something like that, and the twist was that he was Jesus. And the writer and the editor basically put the kibosh on that because they didn't want to have revealed that the mainline Marvel universe used Christianity as its central religion. Like, the religion of Christianity was proven true in the Marvel universe,
which is bullshit.
But Jesus was a real person, though. Like, historically speaking, he was alive and breathing.
Yeah. It's just that they don't want to have the whole Jesus as in Jesus, the Son of God, not Jesus, the historical figure.
But you guys forget Big Boy Steve. Definitely Big Boy Steve. He's my man.
Yeah, with this, kind of getting back to the podcast, with this, it's just they assume that he just said it was something good, don't know what it was. It could always be the Elysium Fields, and they just wiped his brain on his way out. Elysium is basically every single religion on the face of the planet has had some version of heaven. Norse has Valhalla.
That is true, yeah.
Well, Valhalla is more of
Valhalla is more like a fraternity, like a college fraternity.
Yeah. I mean, you die and you come back to life the next day.
That's the weird version where you die and you go into the afterlife, but in the afterlife, it's just another big battle that you go there, and if you die in the afterlife, you get reincarnated back into your point of
You wake up a day later.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, well, not even like it's so strange that they bring up they said that Christianity was the true one. No, he just said he was in a good place after he died. That does not imply heaven. Norse technically has 3 heavens depending on how you die.
Yeah, depending on your class, if you're a warrior, a farmer, or whatnot.
Yeah, or a sailor. Sailors have their own special heaven, and a lot of people it's kind of funny when Viking characters show up and they say, "Nah, I don't want to go to Valhalla. I want to die in the sea where I can go to Rand's halls. They're much more fun."
Yeah, but there's also the fear of what's her name? Ra? Was it Ra?
Hell.
It's the they
Hela.
talk about Utrecht
yeah.
talks about in the Last Kingdom books where he's like
Hell.
Yeah, where no, not Hell. It's the goddess name.
Niflheim.
They call him. I think it starts with an R. I thought it was like Ra because he calls her the sea bitch, where you don't want her to take you down to the depths of the water or whatever.
I know there's Ron and
yeah, it might be Ron. Ron sounds right.
I think Ran Norse mythology, Ran Viking mythology.
Great mythology,
so
one of my favorite subjects.
Ran. Okay, so the goddess Ran and Aegir are the goddesses of the sea.
I read a
God and goddess of the sea. But they're a straight heteronormative couple, so.
Well, that will never do.
Becca, it's not so much that they're paranoid. I'm pretty sure they're just bigoted. I would just say it straight. They're just
bigoted. Yeah. Let's go with that.
They're just
let's
jealous
just go with that.
that Diane is falling for that guy.
Yep, it was Ran.
Oh my gosh. You know what? They might actually, given if what is this? What like Guardians of the Galaxy gets super woke.
Oh no!
They might do that to Rocket.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Make it a villain in your books. That's your representation of School of Movies when you write them in your.
I already put Alec. Well, I already put Alex Shaw twice into a book, and he gets very gruesomely killed.
All right.
I am so sorry, guys, that I put that word into your conversations.
And also, Occupation Army, they don't like, they don't care about Asians.
Yeah.
Asian religions, they really don't care. Asians are like Shogun, what the cat, Schrodinger's minority. Where it's like, oh, it's only convenient to talk about their minority status.
Yeah,
but it's
let's keep going. Let's keep going, shall we? Okay.
That's what we're saying here.
Oh boy.
Okay. Actually, one thing that's worth noting, I've put that they were, with Barbara, redoing yet again. Edward Nygma, as played by Jim Carrey, the guy who first told us that vaccinations were bull hockey. And they did the same thing in Iron Man 3 with Ulrich Killian, played by Joel Pierce, and the same with Maxwell Dillon, played by Jamie Foxx in Amazing Spider-Man 2. This version of that...
Hector Hammond in Green Lantern.
Nice! I forgot Hammond.
This character has been done to death at this point.
The nerd who gets effectively like a big crush and wants to be the hero and becomes obsessed and turns into a supervillain. I would say Barbara's is the best of all of these by a long shot. Like, Barbara gets stuff to do.
Wrong.
Right?
Lewis Tully from Ghostbusters
did
this best.
Great.
What? Okay, so I have a question.
What?
I said Lewis Tully's character from Ghostbusters did this transformation way better. Going from like this inadequate nerd to a hero because he straps on the proton pack when all the Ghostbusters give up, and he's one of the only guy, and they celebrate him. He actually does something, and I think that's a really nice character moment.
Yeah, I think they're talking about a nerd to villain.
All I'm saying is that the best transformation of that to villain or hero was Lewis Tully.
Yeah,
true. I would agree with that. I think that they were basically just saying Amazing Spider-Man 2, Iron Man 3, and what was it?
Going out bad examples.
Yeah, and Batman Forever. Their
argument is that they're sick of this trope.
Which I'm like, it's fine, I guess, but you have to do it very carefully.
I don't think so. I think you can do it well. Like, if you're, let's face it, when you make a character like that, it feels to me like, let's be honest here. You're going from nerd to villain with power. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna relive the power fantasy. Like, it's anything a normal human being would do.
I think part of it is just like they're like really ridiculously like over the top nerdy, because that's kind of the thing about Mythic Dark. Hey, I want to give you my idea. It's called Advanced Ideas Mechanics. Please tell me you'll give me the time of day. And that's pretty much repeated with Amazing Spider-Man 2.
And then Credit Boy! Credit Boy! Or what's that the Jonah Hill character in Megamind? Like,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's just kind of a simp.
Becomes a supervillain, becomes Titan.
He's just kind of I know what you mean. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's try to get to an hour on this stopping place, and then we'll call it a day. Since I gotta get
stuff to do. I actually care about Barbara. Everyone else, I kind of just wanted off the screen.
Okay, so I have a question for you, Alex. What do you think makes her a better version of this character?
Oh God, I haven't prepared. Like, okay, I think it's just because she's up against the worst possible. Like, it's just every other version of this is like she'd have to be acne scarred with like a set of braces even as an adult, and be like, I'm so excited, Diana. But she speaks like, you know, a shy woman would. And honestly, I feel like Kristen Wiig needs a fucking break. She's only been in 2 big high profile films: the loathed, but I quite like it, Ghostbusters 2016, and the loathed Wonder Woman 84. Just like it, there's something about the way she plays it that feels like there is an internal life going on there, that you can kind of see a little bit more to Barbara than like. I don't think that Victoria, you'd be angling for this development unless there was something there, a charm, a certain amount of I want to get behind this. Like, she's not crapped on by the whole world the way that a lot of the rest of these examples are. They went so over the top, specifically in Amazing Spider-Man 2. But at the same time, when she basically almost gets raped in the park by this horrendous dude.
That's what I was just about to bring up, but continue.
I appreciate the fact that rather than him just being...
Prepare your buttocks, my friends. This is the worst part.
I got the frying pan ready.
Oh, no! And besides, and the random dude's drunk. It was highly implied that she was drunk.
Yeah.
Dude, so it's not like
drunk males. Well, drunk people, period, are stupid, but drunk men are usually, unfortunately, horny sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not like saying like what they're saying is inaccurate, but the guy was drunk too.
They're overplaying it a little bit.
Yeah. Trust me, this is gonna get worse.
Yeah.
Who gets away with that sort of shit? And he almost, something very upsetting almost happens. Remember, this film is being aimed at kids, and then Diana turns up and punches him into the middle of next week. And Bob was like, whoa, how did you do that? And he's like, oh, it's just a judo sort of weight redistribution. So easy. And then later on, when she gets cat powers, he turns up again, like, hey, baby, round 2. And then she beats the living fuck out of him in what felt like the most human and real scene of the film. Like someone who, like, I'm actually strong now. I don't.
Quick question.
He didn't even recognize her. Like, he just said some stupid line as she ran past him. He wasn't even going after her. He was just sitting or staying in the corner drinking, and then she stopped, went back to him, and then that whole scene unfolded.
Look, the guy. I actually did an investigation who's the guy is. His name is the Dawn. He just wanted to ask her to smile. And then, of course, after getting his hand crushed by Carol Danvers, Barbara just slammed him to the car.
Yeah.
Quick question. Did he said he instead of she when she was ruffling when he was ruffling to Barbara, because that's
I don't know.
really weird.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe just slip of the tongue. But like he said, like it's the most real and human moment of the movie when she beats up this guy to a bloody pulp.
Sorry, this isn't JoJo's Bizarre Adventures.
Yeah.
These people have issues, like unresolved issues, and they have a child. That's what worries me the most.
And they let their child watch movies that are inappropriate for
like from dusk till dawn.
He just wanted to do something good after Becky died. Damn it!
Yes, poor Becky.
Yep. Yeah, well, let's finish their barber section, and then we'll do the Trump man section on Tuesday or something.
Yes.
Good, I'm off the hook.
Oh no, you're going on here. We'll move it to Wednesday then.
No. It's more of like, oh, I'm off the hook, just as long as it's not 4 o'clock or 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and then
I will move it so you can be there.
Yeah, Lord John is very accommodating. He will accommodate your situation.
I'm going back to work.
Watch it.
I'm going back to work Monday, so I might be a little late. I'll let you know on that day, but I want to be here for the trumpet.
Yeah.
Well,
why do we have to do like especially like we started the series on Wednesday, like yesterday, when Biden is now our president. And we have to deal with Trump stuff like
definitely
TDS. No.
If you want to join in for the Trump bit, I would be down to have you. I'm pretty open with. I've got a pretty open door policy. You just gotta have a good mic and a good way of putting your ideas forward. I don't like have a set thing. Like all of these people are not usual on my podcast. They're just guests who I asked, hey, do you want to come on?
Yeah, I'm here because I'm like the few people.
I like to think I'm starting to become a regular.
And like I have like the
opposing... Yeah, you're becoming a regular, yeah.
Nihilist, you're gonna join. We're gonna drag you in here.
Yeah, let's finish. Let's
finish
we're
almost
we're almost to a stopping place.
What felt like the most human and real scene of the film, like someone who, like, I'm actually strong now. I don't have to be afraid anymore, and takes it a little too far. And then We Hate Movies pointed this out. The nice hobo that she gave some food, which illustrated that she was kind, unlike everyone else mentioned above, runs over and starts browbeating her and going, "This isn't you, Barbara. I mean, I know we don't really know each other, but you shouldn't keep beating up this," checks notes, rapist. And it just felt like, I was rooting for her at that point, and then they just move on quickly, and she turns up again, like in Libya or something. But so what were you going to say?
What I sneakily set you up for that question because I actually wanted to talk about this.
They openly admitted that they want Barbara to be raped. Jeez.
And also, just like, oh, this isn't you saying like,
I don't think they wanted Barbara to be raped. I think they just liked the fact that he was going to be beat. They kicked a rapist. That's what they.
I can see the homeless guy's issue here because right now it's assault. She's about to turn it into murder, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and also in the movie, it kind of implied that she's always been seeing him, like dropping it off.
Yeah.
Like this is like a normal thing. Like this is like, hey, Bob.
Oh, it gets worse. It gets to a really bad false equivalence.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
What I actually I sneakily set you up for that question because I actually wanted to talk about this.
Yeah.
There is again another big Zack Snyder trope: rape and implied rape. We can check that off the list for this movie for some reason. But I think a good point that you bring up is the fact that there does seem to be some kind of internal life going on in Barbara's character, but also she does get that scene where she gets to practice a little bit of her own agency. No, the power is not of her own making, like she wished for it. So it's not, you could argue that it's not real, but when she comes across this situation for the second time, she doesn't have to rely on somebody else to get her out of that situation. She can take care of it herself. And she has one of the biggest moments of like, I'm going to take my own agency and protect myself. I'm going to actually defend myself. That's a big part.
This is protecting. Instead of just walking away and him grabbing her, she just turned around and started beating the living daylights out of him.
No, it's self-defense.
Like doesn't she kick? Yeah, she kicks him 5 feet like a softball 3 times or something.
Like that man is dead.
Oh yeah,
after getting thrown into a car and like kicked.
No, it wasn't a car. It was it was like a van that is the equivalent of a postal vehicle or like a UPS truck.
That man should be dead.
Yeah.
Either way, he's dead. I'm just saying. Like
he's dead.
Yeah, he's probably dead.
Broken bones. He's a cripple or something.
He's dead.
That or severely injured.
No, he was just he was just unconscious. That's all. Folks.
Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna get into a bad bit. Then we'll just end on that bad bit.
Oh, thank God.
Oh boy.
I will have trouble.
Cliffhanger.
Could argue, and the film definitely takes the stand that she goes too far. But I would argue that this is one of the only moments of actual power that the film gives to a woman in this film.
What?
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
It's called Wonder Woman, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, ignoring the fact that Wonder Woman. Okay, let's go over all the agency. So, the reason why Wonder Woman met Steve Trevor where they were because Wonder Woman was purposely investigating Maxwell Lord. She was also investigating the Wishing Stone. She also is the reason why they complained here earlier that she was the one who can only reverse the wish so that Steve can go back to the afterlife. Like, so that's a huge adjacency.
I don't know, but,
no, Barbara beating the living daylights out of a dude where she could easily walk away, showing a sign that she's a villain now. It's totally self-defense. It's totally agency.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wasn't the
I'm
man
on the
crawling
alcohol.
away at
That's
one
right.
point? Wasn't he trying to get away from her at one point? Like just crawling on the ground?
I think he was trying to crawl away, and she just like punted him like a soccer ball.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, and it just like it gets even worse. This moment gets even worse in the podcast.
How?
Just wait.
This film, and for I would absolutely be on Barbara's side and saying, you know what, homeless guy that I met maybe a couple of times and occasionally am nice to, you don't have any right to tell me how to defend myself. You don't have the right to tell me how to protect my own body.
He just came up and it's like, what's going on? And then she's like, none of your business. And then awkwardly runs away.
And also, the dude was also a black man, so you're basically
being a racist.
Yes.
Like, he just has logically, what is going on? He doesn't lambaste her as far as I can remember. He just
shows up.
He just shows up after he sees a guy punted like a soccer ball by a skinny blonde woman.
Yeah, I think it's just like, Barbara, what's going on? And she's just, none of your business, and then just runs away. And it's like, what? He doesn't.
Now
say
he has to
anything.
report her to the police,
and he's covered in like the poor like not poor dude. Like he's not a good person, but he's covered in blood. He's not
a good guy. But even then, it's like you don't just beat him to death or near death. There's a limit here from self-defense to murder.
Yeah, it's just like I was thinking about this like as I was listening to it. It's just like there's a difference between defending yourself and sadistically punting a dude like a soccer ball.
Yeah, well, it's like defending herself. If it was a self-defense situation, he would have grabbed her. He didn't. He just says like, "Hey, babe." It's literally like the dog just saying, "Could you please smile, Carol?"
Well, I do know like he grabbed her in the park one time.
Yeah,
but that's in the park. But this we're talking about in context of this specific scene.
Well, she goes back, and then she's like, "Hey, do you remember me?" And then he thinks for a second, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I do remember you." And then he reaches for her, and then she grabs his hands, and then starts beating him. But at a certain point, it's like, okay, enough. And you did go back and sort of instigate with this drunk bad man.
Yeah, and then like she just like first she slams him against a car, then
leaving a huge dent, by the way.
And then she kicks him again. And again. So basically Barbara Gore this is kind of like at least Orson Scott Card, like say what you will about him, is self-aware enough to understand that Ender Wiggin kicking a guy to death when he's 11 is morally questionable.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like he makes it into a point. You use that to say like, yes, Ender is being molded into a guy who is willing to fight the buggers with human lives, even though he thinks it's a video game.
He also Ender also thought he just like beat him.
He won the fight. He just won all the fights to come.
Yeah, and Ender at the time Ender didn't realize he killed him. Like we as the readers learned he killed him, but Ender just thought he like crippled, broke his arm or something, and they told him that. But in like the beginning of each chapter, you hear the perspective of the adults, and they're like, "No, he killed that boy. He's dead."
Yeah, and then he kills Bonzo because like he has like a similar like feeling, but then like it's not portrayed as good. Like Ender himself is like beaten up about it.
Yeah,
like he hates it.
Yeah, Ender hates killing, and even he knows some of the stuff he's done is wrong.
Yeah, but yeah. Let's kind of just get to the stopping point.
Body. I don't care who you are. I don't care how downtrodden you are, and I don't care how kind I have been to you in the past. You do not have the right to tell me how to do this.
Well, and imagine if that scene still existed in the movie that I pitched, and Barbara, after that scene, like runs to Diana, and she's thrilled but a little concerned and taken aback. Like,
so they wanted to make Wonder Woman sadistic too. I think that would be a worse crime than necrophilia.
Let them finish their talking. It's very important.
This kind of person that I was able to like stand up for myself, but maybe I took it too far. Like I beat that guy pretty bad, but how exciting! Like have Diana help her figure out those emotions and like help train her a little bit to be like, well, if you're going to be like this, let me help you. I've been doing this for 100-some years.
Or have Diana make a mistake to begin with and say, you shouldn't do that. Like basically, it's my job to save people. You shouldn't save yourself. And Barbara basically can throw that back in her face with a very specific men like that always get away with it. And she says it to Diana in a way that, like in one very specific illustrative scene, makes you realize that Diana may be Wonder Woman, but she hasn't really lived the way that women have lived.
Yeah, she's so removed.
Oh my goodness.
words escape me. I guess I just.
Oh my
Why are
goodness.
they on Team Barbara so much?
Because they see themselves in Barbara and they want that
Please.
lovely.
Did they really just say every man gets away with rape no matter the circumstance? That's what I just heard.
I think that what they said was like men like that, i.e., like businessmen get away with rape. I think like that's a subtle Trump reference. I think.
Yeah,
Oh, for Christ's sake.
also, like, could we all be honest? If that rewrite, if their suggestion made it into the movie, I would argue that it would be morally worse than the whole demi-necrophilia. Like, 10 times worse.
Let me explain to you the plight of the women class, you male. Also, aren't you kind of male? Aren't you kind of like? Well, Alex Shaw's a white dude. Like he's a British white dude. So.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. Let's.
Yep. This
I
is
think.
school movies, alright.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Let's end it here on that bombshell.
And on that bombshell, back to the studio.
Alrighty.
Sleeping, definitely.
Well, this has been fun.
That's one word for it.
Yeah.
One word, and
I think it's been fun.
Oh yeah, I think it's
This is the fun portion. Next portion.
Yeah, we'll probably have a little bit more Barbara in the next podcast, but
Barbara.
I might want to see the movie.
No, he's like. Well, I'm saying factually, he is a British white dude. I like the most British people. I don't like this white person, white British dude.
I'm thinking I may watch the movie over the weekend, get some context for this shit.
No.
Yes, honestly, most of this podcast, like throughout, like when Johan and Nihilus was listening to it, and I was there, I had to keep explaining the context of the situation so much so that I wish done now that I need to clip out a clip from TFS Helsing where it's like, Father, context.
Yeah, it's like, but yeah, I think kind of like every like, I think that the only way that we can sum up this is with this one clip.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Everyone in this room is...
Everyone...
Yeah.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
We'll end it there, guys. Bye.
Bye.